Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. Happy Monday. This is portfolio update number 116. And what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. And we can see what the current balance is. We're pretty much at all-time highs with this portfolio. And that's no surprise because the overall market is at all-time highs as well. We can see over the last year, the money weighted return down here is over 25% at 25.91%. The dividends earned over the last 12 months, 10,368.97. And we can see here the starting value and then the ending value over the last year. So quite a large gain, and I have not been making huge deposits either. Really just been doing $200 per week has been the strategy for quite some time. So look at how much this has gone up in value. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at the stocks that I bought, because the purpose of this video is to show you the stocks that were purchased with my $100 deposit. I do 2 deposits per week, one on Monday and one on Friday, $100 a piece. And the first video on Mondays, I let M1 do the picking, and the picking is based upon the allocation that I have for my slices and also the stocks within the slices. We can see that the ETFs portion is underweighted a little bit by 0.2%, but the dividend portfolio, that is underweighted by 0.5%. So that's where this money, I'm sure, has gone to. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on the activity log, and we will see the 3 buys for $100. So I'll click there, and we're also going to see what impact these buys have on my dividend income going forward. We'll also do some historicals. We'll look back and see what my dividends were prior and just show you how they're growing over time. And the first buy we can see here was Microsoft, $8.65, and then Pepsi for $23.74, and then the largest buy was Waste Management for $67.61. And Microsoft just announced a nice dividend increase. I think it was about 10%, right around that 9-10% gain. I'll show you also how that dividend has kind of been going up as well. So we'll click done here. Click in portfolio. We're going to jump over to my Google Docs spreadsheet. I'm going to walk you through this as I do every week. And this tracks, the companies within the portfolio. I'll leave a link below to this spreadsheet as well as M1. You can see all what's in these slices and what allocation I have towards each stock. So what this Google Docs spreadsheet shows is the company, the ticker symbol, the share price, which is live right now. It's using a Google Finance function to pull up that amount. And then the share price is doing a VLOOKUP on the M1 data tab down below, and we'll get more into that. And the number of shares also using a VLOOKUP there. And then the market value is simply the share price times the number of shares. We can see the cost basis. That's also pulled from M1 as well with a VLOOKUP. And then here's my gain or loss for each position. Each position that has a gain of 25% or more will be in green. It looks like everything I'm invested in has been a winner for me. And we have some that have, over doubled my money, such as Broadcom, Exxon. Well, actually, let's just sort these so you can kind of see which of these positions have really taken off for me. We can see in NVIDIA, then Exxon is second because I bought these shares primarily during COVID in March 2020. And then Broadcom, I slowly acquired these. You can see over doubling my money here with KKR as well. And then Caterpillar, Costco. A lot of people overlook Costco because of the low dividends, but Costco pays a special dividend every 2 or 3 years, so I would also factor that in, and they like to increase that dividend every single year. And then rounding out the positions that have more than doubled my money is Aflac. We have some of our close like Oracle and Microsoft. We'll go down to the bottom and we'll see which ones have performed the least for me. And surprisingly, Hershey's and then Pepsi. Remember, that was one of the positions where I bought more shares in. And then Starbucks has made a rebound. I was in the red in Starbucks not too long ago. They announced a new CEO came over from Chipotle, and that really rebounded the price. It was in the 80s. I think it was even down to the high 70s for a little while, but we are back to the almost mid 90s, and I'm in the green again on that one. Usually what happens is your lower returns are going to usually have the higher yield percentage, and you can see here with like, oh, it has a lower gain, but you can see the 5% yield. Same with BST, almost 20%, but you can see the yield percentage is at 8.63%. Usually the higher gainers are the lower yields. You can see that with NVIDIA especially. The only exception is with Exxon. You can see that yield on cost, how it's inverted there, is because I bought these shares again during the height of COVID. Actually, when COVID was kind of just being discovered in March when things were being shut down, it was in the 40s. So I scooped up some of those shares. So we'll scroll on over to let's go and sort this back, and we'll sort this back by pay date. This is usually how I have it from A to Z, and we are in the month of September. And here's the dividends that have been paid so far. I've been paid $227.08, but we're not even close to being done. And the heavy hitters are going to be paying here, especially on the 30th with SCHD and BST. And I've also put out the amounts for the current dividends for Waste Management as well as Pepsi. We're going to see those go up because we bought those fractional shares. And that's the same for Microsoft as well. We're going to see this go up. The 631s actually go up. This is the last dividend. And all three of these have something in common, and a few things in common. The first thing in common is the ex-dividend date has passed, so it'll be December before these new higher dividends will pay. But these are also positions that like to increase their dividends at a good clip. You can see Microsoft at 10% and Waste Management at 7%, and Pepsi also at 7%. So those are nice, healthy increases year over year. So I don't mind adding to those positions at all. So we'll scroll down here. We'll take a look at our monthly cash flow average. We're going to see this change in just a minute, where I'm going to grab some data from M1. We'll make sure we don't time out over there. Go to the holdings tab just in case. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab some data. We're going to put it into the M1 data tab. It's going to change. Like I said, it's going to change the new dividend for Pepsi, Waste Management, and Microsoft. But it's also going to change the monthly, quarterly, and annual cash flow average of this portfolio. So let's go on over and grab that data from M1. We'll grab starting with the name column. We're going to paste this into the M1 data tab. And this goes from largest position to smallest position. And SCHD is my largest position by far. I'll go back here, the holdings, I'll show you real quick if you're curious. So yeah, SCHD, almost $100,000 in value. And then BST. And then AbbVie is the largest non-ETF or closed-end fund that I have here, than NVIDIA. But it's not been by cost basis. You can see how little I put into NVIDIA and how much it's gone up. I've made multiples of my initial investments. So over 8 times, it looks like about 8 times my initial investment I've returned in NVIDIA. I've thought about selling it, but I'm just going to hang on to it, even though it doesn't pay a large dividend. So back over here to the Google Docs spreadsheet, M1 tab, we're going to pay special here, values only, and it's going to change the number of shares, cost basis, and average share price for those 3 positions where I bought shares in. Microsoft, Pepsi, and Waste Management. Go over here. And we can see our new monthly cash flow average is 1307. We're going to carry that over in a moment to the monthly average dividend tracking tab. But let's take a look at the 3 positions where I added more fractional shares to, and we can see what the next new dividend is going to be. But Pepsi is going to pay 15.54 at the end of this month, but at the end of December, it's going to pay 15.72 if I don't buy any more shares. And then we can see Waste Management going up from 704. It's going to pay me 704 on the 28th, but at the end of December, it's going to pay me 729. And we'll just take a look at Microsoft. The last dividend was paid to me on the 13th. It was $5.70. And the next dividend is going to be $6.33. And we can see how this one has just gone up. You can see the last $5.70 dividend. I was in the 5.60s, $5.59, $4, and even into the $2. And this is every quarter how it's paying, even just receiving $1. So you could count how many years I've owned this, about 4 years around there. And you can see how the dividend has gone up for Microsoft, and also a nice return on this, an 81% return. So let's go ahead and grab the 101307. We're going to put this on this page over here because I like to track progress. Scroll all the way down. 101307. And that was with the event was a $100 deposit. Same with on Friday. But the change in monthly income today was 15 cents. So this is 15 additional cents every month going forward. It's not just a one-time thing. And also, I have that stock appreciation to look forward to, as those investments have been doing quite well for me, especially Microsoft. Pepsi has been okay, and my return at 11.85%. But let's take a look at Waste Management, much better at 39% return than Microsoft, of course, at 80%. So you can see here, Pepsi does pay the better dividend percentage, but the return has not been as much. Again, we can see usually the growth type stocks that pay a dividend pay that lower dividend initially and like to grow it. And then the stocks that pay the higher dividend usually grow slow. They have a slower growth to them. And going back to the monthly average dividend tracking tab, there's a lot of other events that happen, like dividend increases and even just a dividend drip. Every dividend I receive gets dripped back into that position. That's my strategy with that, and I'm probably going to stick to that for a while. But you can see, though, just in the month of September, how many events have happened to increase my monthly income. And we can see that the sum of it is $6.77 just in the month of September. We're not done yet. So we'll jump over to the dividend tracker tab. I've been doing these videos since January 2021. Here's a starting portfolio value. When I started doing these videos, here was the first full month of dividends from January 2021. And we can see how these have grown. And you can see we have the dividends go small, small, large, small, small, large. And that's because the last month of every quarter pays the most. And we'll just scroll down to more recent time here. In September of 2024, we can see the current portfolio value rounded to the nearest $100 is $263,000. Here's the dividends paid so far. Here's my quarterly dividends so far. We're not even close to being done. We have some heavy hitters happening. Q2 was lower because SCHD did not pay in Q2. It's going to pay twice in Q3, and it's really going to jack up Q3. It's going to make it way higher than we've ever seen. And Q4, I suspect, is going to be high, even higher than, much higher than Q4 of 2023, where it's going to be, getting close to that $3,000 mark. And here's the average monthly dividend, again, up to $1,013.07 monthly increase. And then here's the month-over-month gain, 0.67%. And then we see the annual dividend up to $12,156.80. And we've added to the annual amounts by $81.20. Here's another $100 kicked in. So I'll finish the month Friday with $800 of deposits. You can see, remember, the gain in the portfolio was like $60,000 of the last year, but I've kind of slowed down. You can see the deposits have not been huge, and it's just been market gains, really. So to close out this video, we'll go to my net worth statement. I recommend everyone do this and track it, either monthly, quarterly, just to see what your progress is. You can see here I have an account. I have several accounts at Vanguard. I have an IRA, a Roth brokerage account, taxable stock brokerage account. They're all in Vanguard ETFs. And then here's my current employer 401k, and it's with T. Rowe, but I have a Fidelity S&P 500 index fund, 100% in there, almost at the $100,000 mark. And this is my employment starting from March 2020, and everything else, this is prior employments before that, starting from approximately 1996. And I didn't max out my 401k every single year. There were some years where I did, but it's been a while since I have actually maxed out. A few years. I've kind of laid off the gas, so to speak, and tried to work more on the money that's more available to me in a taxable brokerage account in the M1 and the Vanguard taxables, just so I have kind of more firepower to maybe put towards my house, because here's my mortgage pay, or mortgage. Here's my credit card balance, 884, but I don't let that sit. I pay that off every month, so I don't pay any interest on that. The only thing I'm paying interest on is my mortgage, and I don't even like to do that. So we can see my net worth climbing well over the $1.7 million mark, but who knows, we could have a bad week next week or the week after and be in the 1.6s, or who knows, we could have a market collapse and even go below that. We can see here's the breakdown between stocks, home equity, and cash. Getting close to that $100,000 mark with cash. We'll see what I do with that. I'm kind of itching to pay off this mortgage. We'll see what I do with that. But here's also the breakdown in pre-tax and after-tax, trying to pick up more of that after-tax. As you can see, I'm a 401k millionaire here with the pre-tax. That's in 401k and IRAs. And a lot of people will call that Coast 5, where I don't have to put much more in, and I'll be fine in retirement. And then here's the breakdown between U.S. and international. And here you can see my net worth, just tracking that. And before I do that, here's the average monthly dividend, though, of all of my investments at right around $3,300 a month. I'll have at least that guaranteed to me month after month on average. But here you can see how my net worth has gone up for November 2022 at 1.284. And then you can see it promptly went down in December, rebounds, went down, and back up. It's been seesawing, then the 1.3s, 1.4s, back to the 1.3s, and almost in the 1.2s again. Then had a nice rebound in November 2023, and pretty much been up almost ever since. Here's what we closed out at in August 2024 at 1.714. And here are the total dividends from August. You can see in July, that was a bigger month of dividends, almost in the $7,000 mark. And here we are in September, and it's really just from savings account interest is what that's from. But that's going to go up a lot more with these Vanguard ETFs paying at the end of September, as well as SCHD paying. That's really going to jump up and increase that value. So that's all I had to show you guys for this video. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. Please click the like button if you got value from the video. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. I will be doing a video on Friday, and on Friday I will pick 5 stocks. You'll see what those are. I'm going to put $20 into each of those. And again, we'll see how my monthly income will go up as a result. We'll see it go up as well. So thanks again, everyone. Everybody have a great week, and everybody take care.